Jay-Z and 50 Cent have never moved in the same lane, but lately the tension between them feels louder than ever. As old interviews and industry stories resurface, fans are revisiting long-standing rumors about power, loyalty, and influence behind the scenes. From whispers about strained relationships to debates over how young artists are guided once they enter the spotlight, the conversation has shifted back to who really pulls the strings in hip-hop. Many believe Jay-Z built a tight inner circle and encouraged distance from anyone seen as a threat, while 50 Cent now appears more willing than ever to speak on past conflicts and industry politics. Whether these claims reveal hidden truths or simply reflect unresolved rivalries, one thing is clear: the history between these two icons is far from settled, and people are paying attention again.
I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, 4 months later, in the club hit, and it was over. And It was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. You let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there. Because America can be purchased. You can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift.
I wish you would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody.
And Jay disagrees.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would you have?
No, we'd have had altercation.
50 Cent and Jay's tension goes back to the late 1990s, starting with How to Rob, where 50 took shots that set the tone for years of quiet rivalry. Instead of trading diss records, the conflict mostly played out through industry competition, release timing, and behind-the-scenes power moves that fans still debate today. Similar conversations surrounded Jay's issues with Nas and later with 50, adding to the idea that influence and business strategy mattered as much as music. While Jay-Z and Diddy have both spoken about uplifting black artists, critics point to moments involving artists like Beanie Sigel as examples of how competition at the top often blurred those ideals, making their long-running influence one of hip-hop's most discussed power dynamics.
You couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Benny Siegel, and Benny Siegel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing it. Like, oh, shit. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close, and I'm always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was going to buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and Beanie Siegel, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said, Dame would know better than me.
50 Cent has said that when the lineup for the 2022 Super Bowl LVI halftime show was being put together, he wasn't originally included, and that some decision-makers didn't want him there. A situation he believes involved Jay's company, Roc Nation, which has a role in organizing the event. According to 50, it was only after Eminem made it clear he wouldn't perform without 50 that he ultimately appeared on the stage with the rest of the lineup.
The big homie Jay-Z, right? I said to my nephew, I said, yo, listen, I have to ask him this straight up. So I said, yo, who is the people that's on NFL? And he said to me, and I'm sorry for anybody who don't understand. And he said, the white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm digging this Jimmy Iovine. He said, no, Eminem called directly for 50. And he said,
that's his guy.
He said, I can't do it if I can't bring 50 up.
But that's his guy.
That was beautiful.
And guess who's Dre's guy?
Your guy.
Despite his massive success, 50 Cent has often been described by people around him as someone who never completely shut the door behind him. Tony Yayo has spoken about 50 not just as a rap legend, but as someone who stayed accessible and supportive to other black artists coming up in the game. That contrast is often brought up when fans talk about Jay-Z, who is seen as operating on a more distant executive level. To some, it feels like two very different leadership styles, one rooted in close personal loyalty, the other built around status, structure, and separation.
Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super
you didn't
Bowl?
know that? Yeah, he didn't
Well,
want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hated. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know
because of what some of the.
I mean,
the back
you know, it's
day?
competition. You got to think 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what 9? What was that?
But
9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember
yeah,
the whole,
of course, but 50 was
sneaker
50
thing?
was always competition for. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came. And people might G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody has had the effect that we had.
Jay-Z is often viewed as a businessman before anything else. Someone who has always approached his career with strategy and long-term positioning in mind. Critics argue that many of his moves, including high-profile partnerships and relationships, are interpreted through a business lens rather than a purely personal one. 50 Cent has even framed Jay-Z's and Bianca's marriage as a strategic alliance, a take that fuels ongoing debate among fans. Since that union, Jay-Z's visibility and award recognition have only grown, reinforcing the image of someone who carefully curates power, influence, and an aura of being untouchable in the industry.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a Black Billionaires Lunch. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us. Black excellence.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah.
It's the billionaire brunch. You're like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
There have long been rumors online suggesting that Jay-Z's and Bianca's marriage was as much about image and career alignment as it was about love, a narrative that critics use to explain ongoing tabloid stories about infidelity. Over the years, speculation has also swirled around Jay-Z's early industry relationships, including how young artists were introduced to the business and the intense, high-pressure environments they entered at a young age. Stories about late-night meetings, fast-tracked contracts, and rapid rises to fame have fueled debate, though none of these claims have been legally proven. What remains clear is that these rumors continue to shape how some fans view power, influence, and control at the highest levels of the music industry.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies, those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. Oh, wow. You're going to let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys. You're going to let him say that?
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
No, he had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he got them shits. He started drinking. His pictures with him like thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Career. You can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
Why are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal, so I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, so I was forced to know both sides of the business.
Jay-Z's past controversies are often revisited, including a well-documented incident from December 1999 involving music executive Lance On Rivera at a New York nightclub. Jay-Z was arrested in connection with the altercation, and the case played out publicly in the early 2000s. He later accepted a plea deal, bringing the legal matter to a close. While the incident has remained part of his public record, it's typically referenced today as an example of how far his career and public image have evolved since his early years in the industry.
Talk about Rihanna, the diva Rihanna. She's from Barbados?
Yeah, she's Bayesian.
Okay, she's Bayesian. How did you come in contact with her? I mean, did you fly over there?
No, Jay Brown had actually bought me the song. She has a song right now, and it's I wouldn't say massive because of her roots, but she has this outrageous song called Upon the Replay. And then he played that song for me, and I was scared. I was like, that song is too big for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, a new artist, when a song is that big, it's it's hard to come back from. And I don't sign songs. I sign artists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you break down the difference between that? Because, the viewing public might not understand that.
Some people chase the hot song for a minute, and then they sign, based on the song. I want to sign it based on an artist, based on, or based on the swagger, based on the level of talent, based on the writing, So I was a little reluctant when I first heard the song, and then, he kept going, Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, you know what, bring her by. And when she walked into our office, I was like, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, it was just something about it. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay. Okay. Then, we sat down and we talked. And they was talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic.
Okay.
Everything is there. So we signed it that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m.
Wow.
That day. I was absolutely certain.
But Jaguar has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look
She
at
was
her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam history.
Jay has openly acknowledged infidelity in his marriage through music and interviews, with major moments surfacing around the late 2000s and again in the mid-2010s. Public speculation intensified after the now infamous 2014 Met Gala elevator incident involving Solange, which many fans interpreted as a reaction to private issues becoming public. Over the years, rumors have circulated within the industry linking Jay-Z to various artists, while Beyonce's own work appeared to acknowledge betrayal without directly addressing specifics. To critics, the way both handled these moments fueled the belief that their relationship was managed with image and stability in mind, reinforcing long-standing debates about how power couples operate behind the scenes in the music business.
Difficult to say, I'm going to talk about the problems in our marriage. I'm going to talk about how we almost lost things. And for her to say, I'm going to talk about my pain and anger at you. What were those conversations like?
Again, it didn't happen in that way. It happened, we were using our art almost like a therapy session. And we started making music together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music she was making at that time was further along. So her album came out as opposed to the joint album that we were working on.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a lot of that music. And this is what it became. There was never a point where it was like, I'm making this album. I was there.
Right.
I was right there the entire time.
And what was her reaction to your work and what was your reaction to hers? They must have caused
I think they were
pain
both,
for each of you, right?
Of course. And both very, very uncomfortable, but sitting in that, the best place in the, hurricane is like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the eye of that hurricane. Maybe not use hurricane because so many people are being affected right now, but the best place is right in the middle of the pain.
Right.
And that's where we were sitting, and it was uncomfortable. And it's a lot of conversations, and really proud of the music she made. And she was really proud of the art I released. And, at the end of the day, we really have a healthy respect for one another's craft. I think she's amazing. You know, most people walk away, and like divorce rate is like 50% or something, because most people can't see themselves. The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you caused and then have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
So you don't, most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to look inside yourself. And so you walk away. It's my soulmate, it's the person I love, you know, and you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're going to have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
And a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
Worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like, it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the drug to perform. So she can remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work?
What the yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Like, doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. I don't know why it's so hard for people
so
to just
for people to feel like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too. This is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what does that mean?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip hop culture could think that everybody in hip hop culture is with that. I wasn't in the ad because of, look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. Mm-hmm. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, yeah, so I talked to the big homie. He was saying, told Jay, he was telling me, you know, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without fit, right? And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they're Harper, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself.
Jayz is known for working quietly behind the scenes, handling controversy with calculated moves that often feel guided by lawyers, while many in the industry stay